So here's the question. As a real estate investor, how do you build a business that you're excited to show up to every day while you constantly grow your stream of passive income that you and your family can depend on for life without having to leave your computer or even live somewhere that houses are affordable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Brian Elwood.
What's up, guys? Brian Elwood here. Welcome back to another episode. On the way to get a massage right now after a hard day at work. Who here listening to this has not had a massage within the last year? If that's you, then I'm going to suggest that you go get one. And I know you're thinking massages cost a lot of money, which is true. But I'm going to suggest, a different way to look at it. The more you can increase your ability to rejuvenate your mind and body, the greater output you're going to be able to deliver. Rejuvenation of the mind and the body to where you just feel great again and feel like you can start crushing it again is so crucial to being successful. Guys like Brendon Burchard and Tim Ferriss talk about this a lot. And I got the idea of getting regular massages by Tim Ferriss. He said, you can find deals on even a 30 or 45 minute massage for less than $100, $50, $40, for someone just out of massage school. Go get one twice a month. It's like the cost of a dinner. And the benefit that it will bring you will be worth a lot more than it costs. Like if it costs you $50 to go get a massage or even $100, the state it's going to leave you in afterwards is going to create the ability for you to earn 10 or 50 or 100 times what the massage actually costs you. So think about that. That's why I'm getting a massage. Definitely not trying to brag or anything, but I just truly believe that the ROI is greater than the cost on that and a lot of other rejuvenating things like the sensory deprivation tanks and going to a meditation or a yoga class. All that stuff is just really great and crucial to being successful. Anyways, so in this episode, I wanted to very just quickly go over something with you because I get a lot of objection from people who want to invest in real estate about how the prices in their market are not affordable. And this is a really common mistake that newbie investors make. They just look around at stuff that's listed for sale in their city and they say, I couldn't buy anything. Houses here cost $300,000 or $400,000. And I'm like, you can't buy anything and you definitely should not buy anything at that price. You should never buy investment properties in those prices unless you're buying like a multi-family large property with a bunch of units. The numbers are never going to make sense. And this is why investing virtually is superior to traditional investing, because rather than trying to make your local market make sense, you can go where the numbers clearly make sense. So let me give you guys a real rough and dirty kind of way to analyze potential rental properties. And you can use this real quickly to just determine whether or not something is a deal. So the concept is called the 1 to 2% rule. And the rule is that the monthly rent of the property, so let's say it rents for $800, divided by the purchase price of the property, let's say purchase price is $80,000, must be 1% or greater. The reason they call it the 1 to 2% rule is because it usually falls somewhere around 1 to 2% monthly rent divided by purchase price. If it's greater than 2%, that's awesome, but If it's much greater than that, you almost have to question the validity of the deal and if the numbers are not being inflated somehow, because most things don't come in a whole lot higher than 2, at least in my experience. So in my example, $800 a month in rent on a house that costs $80,000. If you divide 800 by 80,000, you get 0.01, which is 1%. That's what 1% looks like as a decimal, 0.01. 2% would be 0.02. So in order for it to be 0.02, it'd actually have to be $1,600 a month, and the purchase price would be $80,000. You'd get 0.02 if you divided those two against each other, and that'd be 2%. It'd be extraordinarily good to get something that rented for that much for only 80 grand. On the other end, you don't want to go below $800 a month for that purchase price. So if it's $600 a month and the purchase price is $80,000, you're going to be below 1%. It's going to be 0.00 something, maybe 0.007 if you did the math. And that's less than 1%. And that's a no-no. So as a rough down and dirty rule, you've got realtors, wholesalers pitching you deals. You've got sellers calling you saying, buy this house. Just stuff's coming across your desk. And you're wondering if you should buy it. Well, just divide the monthly rent by the purchase price. If it's not 0.01 or 1% or greater, forget about the deal. It's not good. You're wasting your time. There's plenty of markets where you can easily get deals that fall within this 1 to 2% rule. And so that's just a rough and dirty way of knowing if something is a good deal. A lot of savvy investors might be listening to this and saying, that rule is crap. There's so much more that goes into it. And there is a lot more that goes into it, but this rule is a good just initial analysis to weed out the stuff that is not going to work as an investment. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody come up to me who's never invested in real estate before and told me that they're going to move out of their $400,000 house because they can get $2,500 a month in rent for it. And I tell them they're crazy because they're not even close to breaking 1% there. They would need to be at a minimum of $4,000 a month to be hitting 1% of what they paid for that house. So the way that shakes out is that basically by the time they take their $2,500, by the time they pay the mortgage payment, insurance, taxes, they account for vacancies and repairs, there's not going to be any money left over. They'll be cash flow negative if they try to do that. The 1 to 2% rule just sort of gives you a heads up. You still need to actually run the real numbers of all those things. But this is just a good way to do the quick math in your head. So, when someone tells me a purchase price, like they say $70,000, all I do is take 2 zeros off of that to get to 700. And I know that's my minimum that it can rent for. So if someone says, I got something that'll rent for $900, it's $90,000. Again, we're right at the 1% minimum. I'll look into the deal further as long as it hits that minimum. If it doesn't, I say no. So don't bring me a deal for $600 a month that cost me $80,000. I would never buy that because by the time I pay for all the expenses, I'm not going to make any cash flow on that month to month, which is that's the whole point of this in the first place. So you got to have it. Hope that helps, guys. Remember the 1 to 2% rule when you do your analyses on potential deals. It will save you lots of time and headaches. See you guys in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, you are only a dozen houses away from your freedom. Till next time, guys. Peace.
Want more? Get your free copy of Brian's book that is changing real estate businesses everywhere. Just go to www.fireyourself.net. Also, register for your free virtual real estate investing online masterclass at virtualinvestingclass.com.